What's the best way to fire an employee without introducing unnecessary conflict? Terminating an employee is difficult, and many leaders struggle with it. Even when a relationship requires a necessary ending, leaders rarely feel good about delivering bad news to other people. So here are some tips that can help. Number one, check yourself. Make sure you actually did everything you could do to support that employee before deciding that firing them was the best option. There's nothing worse than having to fire someone because you set them up for failure. Believe it or not, this guilt is carried by a lot of leaders because they feel they should have done more to support their employees, but they didn't make the time to, or they didn't know how to. Tip number two, no surprises. If the first time someone discovers they're about to be terminated is on the day they're terminated, you've already messed up. By the time you start discussing someone's firing, they should already know that it's on the horizon because you should have been talking about it and you should have been working on improving together. Tip number three, know why you're firing them. When you begin to even consider firing someone, you should be evaluating two different areas: their job performance as it relates to their job description and their alignment with organizational values. And this is because you need to know if you're firing someone because of a competency issue, a chemistry issue, or a little bit of both. Tip number four, get to the point. Leaders butcher the firing process because of nerves or because they don't want to sound rude, but remember that sometimes the most unkind thing you can do is to be unclear, so don't send mixed signals. Be clear about what your decision is, explain why you've made that decision, and explain what's going to happen next. Be clear and concise. Tip number five is to be compassionate. Give them some time to process their emotions in the short term and have a plan to support them in the long term. You already know going into the firing conversation that the employee is going to be concerned about their livelihood, so working out a severance of some kind can help provide some relief to soften the blow. I hope those 5 tips help the next time you have to have a difficult conversation with one of your employees.